Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream. This was not scheduled. I decided to just jump on and do an extra session just because in the moment I felt a message that needed to go out. And when a message comes to you and you feel like it has to be communicated, that usually means to me that it needs to be communicated right away. And now, sorry about the lighting. It makes me look like older than I am. Cameras are not nice. I wanted to come chat with you guys today because I've had so many conversations with mothers and fathers. And the message that I see all the time is very similar to one person to the other. And it's this feeling that parenthood, motherhood, or fatherhood is harder than it needs to be. It feels like a struggle every single day. It's filled with uncertainty of, am I doing the right things? Am I doing something wrong? Why is it harder than it seems to be for other people? Waking up in the morning already tired at the idea of the day ahead, feeling almost defeated by the time breakfast comes. And at the end of the day, sitting down and having this feeling that your day did not hold everything that you wanted it to hold. And as we're gearing up for our childbirth event that starts on Monday, I'm thinking about all of these parents, that have children today that are feeling this way right now. What did you expect parenting was going to be like when you were expecting your first? I bet that you had this image in your head of what it was going to be like, right? Of cuddling your newborn baby in the sunshine and going on all kinds of adventures and sitting next to your spouse and just staring at this little human that you made together in absolute love, right? And seeing your marriage become stronger and seeing all of these dreams of trips and adventures and dreams coming true together as a family. And then once your child actually comes to the world, you expect it to be a little bit difficult, right? You expect to be a little bit sleep deprived in the first few weeks. Absolutely. But then it turns out to be so much harder than you expected. And the moments that you imagined are few and far in between. And the moments that you didn't expect are more and more common. And who here feels this way that, what they thought parenting was going to be like when they were expecting their first child versus what their everyday life is today doesn't fit. It doesn't mesh. It doesn't match. And feeling almost like you've been robbed, like something went wrong along the way, that you did something wrong somehow, that you were dealt a harder hand than somebody else, and feeling like this whole imagined life that you had in your head isn't happening for you. And instead, you've been dealt with this life that feels like you're in survival mode. And it's kind of like Groundhog Day, day after day. Who feels this way right now, where you think, I love my kids to pieces. I'm so incredibly grateful for them. But inside of me, and I don't dare say it out loud because I don't want to be judged, this is not what I thought it was going to feel like. This is not how I thought my life would be like. And the reality is, once you start experiencing those feelings, you kind of feel like you're alone in it. Like, I must be the only mom who feels this way. I must be the only mom who wants a break from my kids. I must be the only mom who, can't hack it or can't handle it. I must be the only dad who, doesn't have this, hold and respect with my children. And so you don't say it out loud. And you just try and maintain day to day. And you think, well, one day it'll be easier. If I just hold on, one day it will feel easier. And then the days go by and the weeks go by and the months go by and then the years go by. And every time something seems a little bit easier, there's a new challenge that you're faced with. And it feels like it's a never ending revolving door of challenges being put in front of you. And so at some point, it kind of feels like you're running a marathon, challenge after challenge. And you're waiting and you're thinking there must be a moment, a pit stop where I can just stop and drink the Kool-Aid, right? And just have a good time. Like, I'm going to get rest at some point, right? That's going to happen if I just hold on strong. And in the process of doing that, I see parents losing themselves, losing who they were and the potential of who they can be today. And I find that incredibly sad, because the reality is that when you become a parent, you open the door to your truest, most powerful, most amazing self. But in order to let that person come out, in order to have that new version of you become the you of every day, you need to foster that person. You need to make room for that person. And if you are trying to just survive on an everyday basis, that's simply not going to happen. It's not going to allow you to connect with yourself on that wavelength. And I just want to tell you that what you're seeing on these super curated Instagram feeds of, absolute perfection, that is, only what people want you to see. And everybody has the same thought process as you. Let me post my successes and hide my insecurities. Because the reality is, you're not alone. There's a ton of parents out there who feel exactly the way that you do right now. And the last thing that you want to do is to sit in this moment and think, I just need to hold on. And a few days or weeks or months or years from now, things are going to get better just on their own. I just need to hold on. Because the reality is, if you do that, one day you're going to wake up and years will have gone by. And all of those precious moments with your children will have been tainted with exhaustion, with overwhelm, with insecurities, and yes, with sadness and anger and frustration. And once that time has gone by, you can't go back. You can't go back and you can't get it back. It's done. And I'm not saying this because I want to scare you. I'm saying this because I kind of want to shock you. I want to shock you into realizing that this moment right now that you feel the way that you feel is the moment that you need to say, stop. You don't need to know how, but you need to know what you would love, what you would want. All cards on the table. Despite everything going on, what would you love in your everyday life right now? What would make you happy? What would your true parenting journey, your true career, your true marriage, and your true personal life look like if it was the way that you love it? And I'm not saying don't be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have, but don't settle either. If it's not the way you wanted it to be, then just tell yourself the truth. I'm super grateful I have healthy children and a partner in life and a decent career, what have you. Be grateful for those things, but also say, this is also not what I wanted. And then once you see what it is that you actually want, what you would actually love, and you compare it to what you're experiencing right now, you don't need to know how. You don't need to know how you're going to get to that end result, but you need to decide today that that is what will happen. And you're not going to settle for less, because you are entitled to that, and your children are entitled to that, and your spouse is entitled to that. You're allowed to have the parenting journey that you've always wanted. You're allowed to have the career that you've always wanted. You're allowed to have the marriage that you always wanted. And today is the day to make it happen. And you don't need to know the how. All you need to do is raise your hand and say, I'm not living my life the way that I hoped it would be. I'm not living the life that I would love right now. And there's no shame in that. And it does not mean that you are not grateful for what you have. It's just you being true to yourself and being real with the world, being authentic and saying, look, I love everything that I have. I'm grateful for everything that I have. But this is not it. I want more. And once you make that decision, you raise your hand and you say, I want something different, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it, the answers come to you, the opportunities come to you. I've had so many conversations with mothers who, get on calls with me or with one of the Be Baby, team members, and they say, I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. My health is crumbling down. My day-to-day life is not what I thought it was going to be. My marriage is being affected in some way, shape, or form. I know that I need help. And then we sit down with them and we give them the solution. We tell them, well, you've come to the right place, because that's quite literally all that we do. This right here is quite literally what we do. We listen to parents come in and tell us, look, this is what's going on and this is what I really want. And I don't know how to get there, but that's what we would love. And then we study that journey in between the now and the then, and we give them a pathway to actually get there. And so we answer that prayer, we answer that need. And then once that opportunity is presented to them, some of them are like, absolutely, let's go. And then some of them start questioning themselves, doubting themselves. Am I allowed? Am I worthy? Will it work? And then their brains get in the way and start trying to justify staying exactly where they are, justifying their sacrifice, justifying their pain, justifying their sadness. And so they try and use those things to convince themselves that they should just stay where they are, even though the opportunity is right in front of them to change their lives. They ask for it, they receive it, and then they walk away from it. That is the saddest thing anyone could ever do. You have to, somebody says here, if you want something different and want things to change in a positive way, you have to make a decision to change. You don't have to know every single step. Take our hand and we will help you get there. All you need to know is that the way that you're living right now is not perfect. And that you want that perfectness, whatever perfectness is to you in your head, in your heart. And to say, I want to get there. I don't know how, but this is what I want. This is where I want to get. And then to just find that solution and to say, look, I don't know how, but what you're offering is what I want. That I know. I don't know the how, but what you're offering is what I want. So please help me get there. I'm all ears. I'm open. Just help me get there. And I swear, anybody on in our family, anybody on our team is going to say, all right, I will do everything in my power to make that happen for you. And that's what happens when people, join our program. For example, they come to us and they say, this isn't it. This can't be it. It can't be it. And I don't know how, but it can't be it. And then we present, an opportunity for them and they say, I don't know how to make this happen. But if I'm being honest with myself, this is what I want. So please help me. And then a team member helps them and they just grab onto their hands and they say, look, I'm just trusting you to help me make this happen. Don't let me down. And our team members grab them by the hand and they make it happen for them. But the thing is, the pain that brought you to that conversation in the first place, if you walk away from the answer, will still be there tomorrow. And pain is something that festers, becomes an infection, and it becomes bigger over time. Whatever brought you to that initial conversation was painful enough that you said, no, this is not what I want. There has to be more. That's what brought you to that initial conversation. That's what got you to share with someone that you don't even know what you're going through. And that person instilled in you a sense of trust and a sense of safety that you could tell her that. And she was going to welcome you with open arms and not judge you. And then you poured your heart out to this person, and that person gave you a solution right there in front of you and said, take my hand and I will make this better for you. And then we get in our way. We get in our way and we try and justify that, we should just deal with it. We should just wait. Things are magically going to become better. And then we go back to the pain that brought us there in the first place. And we wait for it to fester so much that we no longer have the energy and the hope that things can change. And then you become that mother that says, I don't really remember the first 5 years of my kid's life. I was too tired. I was too exhausted. I was too overwhelmed. And you don't want to get there. You don't want to be that mom who missed out on the first 5 years of their kid's life. You really don't want to. You don't want to be that dad. You don't want to wake up on the other side and say, why? Why did I do this to myself? Because the reality is, guys, parenting does not have to be this hard. Parenting can be everything that you imagine that it would be. It can be filled with joy and excitement. It can be filled with energy. It can be filled with dreams and goals and aspirations and trips and adventures. It can be filled by nothing but beauty and seeing your marriage become stronger by the day. It can be that picture perfect image that you had in your head when you were pregnant. And if anybody tells you the opposite, it's simply because they're trying to rationalize to themselves that their unhappiness is just the way that it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. And if you talk with anybody who's inside the BBB Peace of Mind Parenting program or Thrive program or anybody on my staff, they will tell you this. There is a different way of doing this. There is an easier way. There is a guided way. There is a way for you to have everything that you want. There is a way for you to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, feeling excited, feeling overwhelmed by opportunity and possibilities. There is a way for you to be the mom that you've always wanted to be, or to be the father you've always wanted to be. There is a way for you to go after your dreams and not leave them on the pillow and make them your true reality. All of that is possible. And it's right there at your hand for every single one of you. And all you have to do is say, this is what I want. This is what I would love. And I don't know how I'm going to get there, but take me there. And to grab that person's hand, to lift your hand right now and say, I am not where I want to be right now. And I want to go where I want to go. So somebody just grab my hand and get me there. And I know it's a scary world, right? There's, a ton of online scammers and, there's things that aren't what they seem to actually be. And we tend to be very distrustful. But here at BBaby, every time you talk to someone, they're the product of the product. They've been in your shoes. They've determined what they would love and what they would want. They grabbed somebody's hand, they went through it, and they woke up on the other side. And now that they know what it feels like on the other side, they want to share it with you. They are the product of the product. If you want to trust the journey, if you want to trust the process, look at who has been there before you. And if what they're showing you is something that you want, then you know that what you're trusting right now is something worthy of trust. But I can guarantee you one thing. If you rationalize staying in the seat that you are in right now, 12 months from now, you will be in that same seat feeling the same way. Nothing will change. And a year, losing a year is losing a lot. And when you're looking at an opportunity like this, you have to ask yourself, if I were to stay in the seat that I am right now and continue to feel the way that I feel right now, in a year from now, in 2 years from now, in 3 years from now, would I look back at my life and think, wow, what an amazing life I have led? Look at how powerful and happy I am. And if the answer is no, you need to get up from your chair. You need to stand up and you need to say, no, I want to grow year to year. I want to become happier year to year. I want to become better year to year. I want my life to improve and to become everything that it can be year to year. But in order for you to experience that growth in all areas of your life, you need to decide, I want to grow year to year, and to stop rationalizing to yourself that you need to stay in the seat that you are. Because here's the thing, anybody who has built wealth, anybody who has built health, anybody who has built happiness, anybody who has built a fulfilling marriage or a fulfilling career, the one thing that they did in common is they decided not to stay in the seat that they were at some given point. Because when you stay in the seat that you are, you will stay in the seat that you are. That's just the way that it is. The only way you can get to the top is if you climb the ladder. And that applies at work, and it applies in your marriage, and it applies in your parenting, and it applies in your self-growth and improvement, and in your health as well. You're not going to get healthier if you don't get up and exercise. You're not going to become healthier if you don't throw out the bad food inside of your closet and get better food and start eating better. You're not going to have a healthier, happier marriage if you don't stand up and say, okay, this is what we need to do to change things. And your parenting journey will not become beautiful and better and less exhausting unless you stand up and you say, this is not what I want. This is what I want. Let's go there. You need to stand up from your seat. You need to kick back your chair and say, no, I am not sitting. I am not going to sit where I am and wait for the floodwater to pick me up. That is not what I want. I'm going to climb the mountain. I'm going to go up the ladder. And year to year to year, my life is just going to become more and more beautiful and more fulfilling. Because 12 months from now, when I look back at the last year, I'm going to smile with such excitement of seeing where I was and where I am today and where I'm going moving forward. And when you get to that moment and you think back to 12 months ago, you're going to think, oh my God, imagine if I had stayed in the seat where I was at that moment. The me 12 months ago is dreaming of being where I am today. And the only reason that that has happened is because I don't sit in my seat. I get up. And sometimes things don't always work out the way that I want them to on the first try, but it doesn't matter because I'm committed to a bigger goal. I'm committed to an end result, and I'm just going to keep on going until I get there. So when somebody shows up and tells me, I see where you're going, you've asked for help, here's a solution, I look at them and I say, that's where I'm going. So let's go. Let's do it. because I don't want to stay in the seat where I am right now. I want every year to become more beautiful, more gratifying, more fulfilled, more amazing. So if you're sitting back and you're looking at social media and you're thinking, this person is so lucky, she's so wealthy. This person is so lucky, she's so healthy. This person is so lucky, her children are so well behaved. This person is so lucky, her marriage seems so amazing. This person is so lucky because her life seems fabulous. The thing is, all of that is available to you, but you have to decide that although you're grateful for everything that you have right now, this is not where you want to stay, and this is where you want to go. And you have to stand up and say, I don't know how, but this is what I want. So whoever has the answer for me, grab my hand and lead me there. And when they show up and they say, hey, and they present to you the solution that will lead you to it step by step, you have to say, all right, let's make it happen. Let's actually do this right here, right now. And you cannot allow your mind to get in the way of your heart. There are certain decisions that should be made logically, rationally, but there are certain decisions that have to be led with what is in your heart. The thing is, they don't communicate very, very well. At the end of the day, when you're buying a car, you're buying the specific car because your heart led you to that car. But then deciding if you're going to buy it or lease it or what terms and conditions you're going to choose, that you do rationally. But the decision to buy this specific car was heart-based, right? When you chose your spouse, did you go with this or did you go with this? When you decided to have a child, did you go with this or did you go with this? You have to learn how to trust your heart, and you have to learn to trust that if your heart is saying this isn't it, and it's making you open a conversation with someone who just so happens to have a way for you, you have to trust that you were brought to that conversation for a specific reason. Nobody was put in your life by accident. They were put there in that moment for a specific reason. And if you open that conversation and you recognize that and you're willing and open to have that conversation with that person that was placed in your life at a specific moment with a specific purpose, you will be rewarded. The universe, God, whoever you choose to believe in, is listening to you. You're praying and he's answering those prayers. But if he's answering your prayers and you're walking away from the answered prayer and then saying, this is so unfair, this is so unjust, my prayers aren't being answered, what are you doing? What are you doing? You prayed and your answers, your prayers were answered. You were giving that right opportunity, but you're walking away. And the thing is, that opportunity that was presented to you might not come back again. Who knows how many times he's going to give it to you, if ever again. You need to recognize the signs that the world is giving you. And one of those signs is a feeling of lack of fulfillment. You are entitled to feeling fulfilled. I know that our culture wants us to believe that parenting needs to be hard and needs to be sacrificial beyond belief, and that we should just be content and grateful for the way that our life is. And we should never try and get more than what we have now because that makes us greedy. The reality is that life is filled with beautiful opportunities for you. Beautiful, but it's simply up to you to take them or not to take them. So stop sitting on the sidelines and watching other people play the game and live the victory and fall down and get back up and go at it again as a team. Stop sitting on the sidelines and watching them play the game of life. Get up from your chair and go play. What's the worst that could happen? Doesn't work the first time? You need to put in a little bit extra time, a little bit more effort. You might fall and get back up and then make a goal. Is that so bad? Your life is happening right now, whether you like it or not. So when you decide to press pause on your happiness, the unfortunate thing is you're not pressing pause on your life. Your life is going to keep on moving while you sit right there and you fall behind. It is your choice to decide if you're going to go with it or if you're going to stay behind. I have never heard anybody, and I've been, with people on their deathbeds many, many times before. I have never heard anybody tell me, I wish I didn't take so many risks. I wish I didn't, run after happiness. I wish I hadn't, tried to become a better self and a happier self. And I regret all of my adventures, and I regret all of my goals and my dreams and my missions, and I regret failing. Never have I heard that. You know what I did hear? I wish I had allowed myself for more happiness. I wish I had allowed myself to realize that I could have more. I wish I had majored in the majors instead of majoring in the minors. I wish I had been on more adventures. I wish I had taken more risks. I wish I had followed my heart more. I wish I hadn't done the responsible thing all the time, and that I had done something that really gave me joy. That's what I heard. And at the end of the day, your kids, what they remember is you as a parent, you as a father, you as a mother. Were you living your best life? Because if yes, they're going to allow themselves to live their best lives. But if you live your life as a parent, punishing yourself, sacrificing yourself, limiting yourself, justifying your pain, to the point of even thinking that you deserve that pain, walking away from opportunities, then your children are going to grow up and do the exact same thing to themselves. I'm pretty sure you didn't bring children into this world hoping that they live in pain, that they live in exhaustion, that they limit themselves, that they settle. You want to see them grow. You want to see them learn. You want to see them develop. They will only understand that this is how life works, that you're supposed to grow day to day, year to year, if they see you grow day to day and year to year. So you need to stop. You need to stop the self-pity party. And you have to say, look, yeah, right now, not cool. Not cool. Okay. This is what I want. How am I going to get there? And be honest with yourself. The thing that I find, so funny when I have conversations with people is like, oh, I've been trying to sleep train my child for 6 or 8 months and it's not been working, and I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, I'm so overwhelmed, and da 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 da. And this is what I want. I just want to sleep through the night. I want to have beautiful, happy days. And you come up and you give them a solution, and then their answer is, well, I'm sure I can do it myself. I'm sure I can figure it out. Or if I just wait it out, it'll get better. And I'm like, you literally just said that you've been trying and it has not worked. Why would you do it again? Why would you do it again? It's like if you know that if you eat chocolate cake every single day, you're going to gain a pound a week. And for weeks after weeks after weeks, this is what you do. And you're gaining weight over and over and over and over and over again. And you finally go sit down with a trainer and a dietitian, and they say, here's what we can do for you, and you're going to lose that weight, and you're going to stop gaining that weight, and you're going to gain more energy and gain more happiness, and you're not going to die of cardiovascular disease. And then you turn around and you're like, yeah, I could probably do that by myself. No, you can't. This is why we're here. This is why you're having that conversation. And that's okay. Everybody needs support. Everybody needs guidance, and everybody needs accountability in various areas of your life. And this right now, this challenge that you're having as a parent and wanting to get help, wanting to get assistance, wanting to find a program that's dramatically going to improve your life, this is step one. And it's going to happen again with something else. Maybe it'll be your career. Maybe it'll be your mental health. Maybe it'll be your marriage. Maybe it'll be, your physical health. it will happen again. And then you're going to find that other person when you put it out in the world that's going to give you the solutions that you want to achieve it. But you need to be brutally honest with yourself and say, look, it brought me here in this moment because clearly I need help and I need guidance. And that's okay, because you know what? Smart people hire people that know more about certain things than they do so that they can get to where they're going. Do you think that Mr. Ford actually knew how to build a car? No, he did not. He had this idea of what he wanted, and then he hired the people who knew how to make it happen to make it happen. If you want to get fit like a bodybuilder, you hire a bodybuilder. If you want to become an acrobat, you hire an acrobat to teach you how to do it. If you want to become a happy, fulfilled, purposeful parent, you hire someone who knows how to do it. You have skills, you have knowledge that people are paying you for right now. Your skills and your knowledge are of value, right? You need to allow yourself that same thing. You need to allow yourself to say, this is what I want, and I'm not able to do by myself right now. This person has a solution for me. Give it to me. I am deserving of it. I am worthy of it. Do not try and rationalize with yourself that your unhappiness is somehow necessary, is somehow deserved, that you yourself, for some reason, have done something so horribly wrong in your life that you are not allowed to go after more happiness and more health and more wealth in every area of your life. We need to stop this. We need to stop doing that to ourselves. Refuse the self-pity. Refuse it absolutely. It is a deadly thing with power to destroy you. The thing is, you know, in all currencies, there's only one currency. And I know I sound like a broken record. I've said this before. There is only one currency in life that you can get more of, and that is time. Money you can have more of. Tokens you can have more of. Jobs you can have more of. Furniture you can have more of. Everything you can have more of except time. Time is the only thing that you cannot get more of. And so it should be your most valued currency. You don't know how long you're going to be here for. You don't know how long you have your children for. Think about the 19 beautiful children that were killed in a school shooting. Those parents did not know that they were only going to get 10 years. They didn't know. And truth be told, we don't know. We just don't know how much time we have. And it's scary. And it is sad. And it is overwhelming. And it is frustrating. And it makes me angry to my core. So why in the world would you rationalize suffering and missing out on those crucial, beautiful years for yourself, for your marriage, and for your children? Do not be the person who wakes up one day and the clock is ticking and there's no more time. And that's when you realize, oh my God, all of these things that I wanted to do and I didn't do any of them. Because unfortunately, it's usually when the clock reaches the end that people wake up. And then there's not enough time. So it's up to you. So stop rationalizing. You are allowed to feel the way that you feel, and you are allowed to get the help that you need, and you are allowed to want more and better. You are allowed to thrive for your happiness every single day. There's nothing wrong with that. God did not put you on this earth with the desire for you to suffer. Did he intend for you to face challenges? Absolutely. But he intends for you to thrive through those challenges, not get beat up in the process. Why would he? What would be the end goal of this? Would you arrive to heaven being wiser if you were a beaten down person that got destroyed by life? No. Wisdom is acquired through growth, not through just pain to no avail. Every challenge becomes something beautiful if and when you allow yourself to fight that challenge and to win on the other side. Otherwise, it's just pain. So you have to make that decision for yourself. Maybe, it's getting into better physical health. Maybe it's tackling your mental health. Maybe it's tackling your marriage. Maybe it's tackling your parenting. Maybe it's tackling your career or your business. Maybe it's tackling your friendships and the people around you that are being toxic to you, and and you're letting it happen. Maybe it's living in a place that doesn't feel like home anymore and feels wrong to you, no matter what it is. There's usually something right now, if you're watching this, that does not feel right. Recognize it, pick it up in your hand, and then raise your hand. Talk to me, talk to anybody in the team, even if it has nothing to do with parenting, and say, look, this is my problem right now. This is my challenge right now, and I will not die with it. Do you know where I can go to get this fixed? And if it's not us, it's going to be somebody else, but we have a lot of connections and we can help you make that happen. But it is your choice. Do you want you to shoot your own self with the bullet, or do you want to stop it? It's completely up to you. It's like in slow motion right now, and you can see it coming towards you, and you get to decide, am I going to step to the side, or am I going to stand there and wait for the pain to come? God never intended for you to live in nothing but pain and suffering. He gives you opportunities. He gives you open doors. He gives you solutions. And he equips you with the feelings that you have right now: sadness, frustration, anger, unfulfillment, for you to be able to recognize when you are on the wrong path so that you can change directions. He didn't give you those feelings because somehow feeling sadness, frustration, and pain is going to make you a better person, deserving of entering heaven. He gave you those feelings for you to be able to compute, oh, no, I am not on the right pathway, and I need to take a different direction. Heed to the warning, respond to it, and share it, because I can promise you that whatever you're feeling right now, somebody else feels as well. So choose growth, choose happiness, choose abundance, choose to recognize that time is the one and only currency that should be valued above all else, because you don't know how much of it you have right now, but what you do know is you have this moment right here, right now. Are you taking advantage of it? Are you letting it pass by? So if you're feeling that this is tugging at you, maybe it's making you feel uncomfortable, maybe it's making you feel hopeful. If it's making you feel anything at all, that means that there's a growth opportunity in front of you. And maybe you just need somebody else to say, it's okay. It's okay for you to go after it. So raise your hand, send me a message, send a message to, Shirley or Elizabeth or Christy or, some of Jen, all of the girls that are chatting. I can't see all the names here, but send a message and say, this is the way that I feel. And the more you're open about that, and the more you go after what you want and what you need and what you would love, most importantly, the more people around you are going to be watching, and they're going to allow themselves the same gift. So you're helping yourself, you're helping your children, you're helping your husband, and you're helping all kinds of people that are watching you right now. Because at some point, that person who leaves themselves in pain and believes that their life should be nothing but pain, but they see you day after day after day after day going after happiness and receiving that happiness, at some point they're going to say, wait a second, what is going on here? Why should I feel pain and she shouldn't? And instead of thinking, well, she, got lucky, or she this or that, they're going to say, no, she had opportunities, she had open doors, and instead of closing the doors on herself, she walked through that door. And I need to walk through that door too. And the thing is, until you've walked through that door, once you actually walk through that door for the first time of allowing yourself to be grateful for what you have, but not be content, and to thrive for more growth and more happiness and more health and more wealth, the love and the joy and the freedom that you will experience on a day-to-day will just lift you up and keep you going. It is a completely different way of living your life, a completely freedom, beautiful way of living your life. And it doesn't mean that I don't experience any challenge, or that anybody who's living this way doesn't experience every challenge. But now when I experience a challenge, I look at it and I'm like, all right, what am I going to learn from this? And what opportunities are going to present themselves in front of me that I haven't seen before, that are going to transform my life for the better? Because every challenge to me means a door is about to appear. And you bet your butt that when I see that door, I'm not going to question it. I'm going to run through it at hyper speed. And that can happen for you too, but you have to make that decision. You don't need to know the how. You don't need to understand everything around the process. You will in due time, but you need to have faith that you are deserving of love and happiness and wealth and health and everything that comes with it. And you have to decide that you're going to stop trying to convince yourself that you are where you need to be and that you should stay there no matter the cost. There's a different way of living, and it's up to you to make that decision. And then once you are there, you get to share it with other people. And there is nothing better in life than to be able to do that for other people and to see people change their lives dramatically. It is the most fulfilling of things that I have ever experienced in my life. And if you're looking for a drug that won't kill you, this is the drug. Learning self-growth for yourself and then being able to teach it to others. It's addicting, and it is beautiful, and it has no side effects. So come and have that conversation, and we'll welcome you there. And as a reminder, we are hosting our childbirth event starting on Monday inside of the Baby Family. If you'd like the link, let me know. If you were here way back when, of like December 2020, we used to host this beautiful childbirth prep event for free. And people absolutely loved it. First-time moms to second-time moms to third-time moms alike. It was a great blast. We teach you all about labor and making those decisions for yourself, and how you can prepare your body to have an easier labor with less pain, and the beginnings and introductions of breastfeeding and sleep for newborns, so that you can kick off your journey on the right foot. And we are doing it again starting on Monday. We're very excited to do it. We have quite a few people registered for it. It is completely free. And it is our way to make sure that perhaps we can prevent some of the things that we are helping with right now, if we can help moms when they're expecting. So if you're expecting, but you don't really know what to expect, let us know and we will get you in. And yes, Elizabeth, her beautiful daughter, Elise, is going to be joining us as an expecting first-time mom. I love you all, and I just want you to know that you are worthy and that you are deserving, and I need you to stop standing in your own way. Have a good day, guys.